second chapter we are studying. 20 to 25, those 6 shlokas, they are very important. This is second chapter of the Gita. In this part, Sri Krishna is describing the immortal nature of the self. See, this information, this analysis is based upon the following. If you take the human personality, any one of us, for the time being we keep it just for the human being. The same thing applies to animals and plants, but we'll just study the human personality, anyone. Whoever it may be, good, bad, it doesn't matter whoever he or she is. This is not one single thing. As we have seen earlier, this is made up of many different things. This personality is an assemblage of many different things acting together. There are so many parts to this personality. The physical part itself is quite complex. The physical body, which we call Sthula Shariram, gross body, that is the outermost and most visible part of our personality. But that is not all there is. We also have the inner instruments, Antahkarana. Antahkarana means inner instruments. What are the inner? These are the outer instruments, hands, eyes, feet. Inner instrument is the mind and the buddhi, intellect, and all those parts of that. Those are the inward, inside instruments. Subtle body or Sukshma Sharira. That also these two also do not exhaust our personality. The gross body, most visible part, the subtle body, the mind, and its functional components. We are familiar with these. We know definitely that they exist and we feel their presence every moment. We feel the presence of the mind thinking everything we do all the time. Even in dream, the mind projects images, so then also mind is active. So we know these two things. But these two do not exhaust our personality. There is more to it. That is, according to our scriptures, and generally all faiths also have the same concept, that in each human being there is an element of the divine present. What is its nature, how it is present, we may not know all those things very clearly, but this much we all seem to agree that there is the presence within each one of us of the divine. In some way, shape or form it is there. To know that is the present study. Our scriptures concentrate on that one. Many of our scriptures. Again, speaking of scriptures, we have 3 levels of scriptures to understand this. To understand human life, what it is, what we are going, what we are doing, why we are here, what is the goal, that is the purpose. Then other things we have to. Our scriptures consist of 3 levels. The first level of scriptures, which we call Shruti, they deal with the divine aspect within us. They don't deal with the body and the mind that much. To some extent, they refer to the mind, inner instrument, and the outer body, physical body, that is not their main domain of concern. The first level Shruti scriptures, which are the Upanishads, the Vedas, and the part of the Vedas, which we call Jnana Kanda, knowledge portion, or Upanishads, they deal with the divine present within us. Their whole focus in the Upanishads is to make us aware of the presence of the divine, to tell us that we are essentially that. That is the most essential part of our personality. And we have to experience its presence. We are experiencing presence of the body every moment. but we have to in the same way experience the presence of the divine within us and realize our identity with it. That is what the Shrutis, the Upanishads, they teach. That is their main focus. And the truths given in the Upanishads, the teachings given in the Upanishads, they are based on the experience of the seers, the ancient sages, and corroborated by the sages and holy people of all ages, of all parts. That is the truth, that unchanging, eternal, universal truth, what the Upanishads say. That is one level of scripture. Now that study of Upanishads is a little bit difficult because of the language and the complexity and the mystic nature of the teachings there. When they talk about the divine within us, they speak in mystic style, language. So we need more help to understand the Upanishads. Then the same truths presented in the Upanishads are also given in the second level scriptures, where Bhagavad Gita comes. Smriti Smriti we can say. Smriti also is not one thing, many different things. In the second level scriptures, we include mostly Bhagavad Gita, mainly Bhagavad Gita, because the Gita contains the distilled essence of the teachings of the Upanishads, extracted and presented in an easy to understand format, so that everybody can have access to it. In the Bhagavad Gita, same thing in the Upanishads, same thing you can find in the Gita. This is when we chant the Gita Dhyana Shloka, when we praise the importance of the Gita, we say, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogha Gopala Nandanaha. A nice imagery is presented. All the Upanishads, imagine the essence of all the Upanishads. Upanishads are there. And that is compared to a cow. And when there is a cow, there is a calf and a milkman and somebody who is benefiting from that, to drink in milk. These four things are there. The cow and the calf and the milkman and the person who drinks the milk. The cow is all the Upanishads. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. We need a milkman. Dogha Gopala Nandana. Sri Krishna is the milk. He takes that role of extracting the essence of the Upanishads. That is what he is doing in the Gita. And then the calf is needed. Who is the calf? Partho. Partho Vatsaha. Arjuna is the calf. To him the teaching is given first. And then the beneficiaries are all the people who are willing to benefit from it. Sudhir, Bhokta, all those people who are interested, who are wise enough to recognize its importance, the teachings of the Gita, they benefit from this teaching. Like that, the image is given. So the Bhagavad Gita is second level scripture, contains the same truth as the Upanishads in a simpler format. Now, this is not enough. These two scriptures contain the principles. And Gita, to some extent, contains the practice also. It combines. It is not very much in terms of practice in the Upanishads. It states the principles based on the experience of the sages, revelation of the sages. Now we need more instruction. How to conduct our day-to-day life at different stages in our life. What are our duties? How to do them? Other class of scriptures, they describe this thing. They are called smritis. There are so many smritis. These instructions given for daily life, they are not constant, not fixed. They change with time and place. The smritis contain information which is not constant. It is subject to change gradually. So there are about 21 smritis books are there. Many great sages wrote these codes of conduct. Parasara Smriti, Yajnavalkya Smriti, like this one. And the one that is most recent, most familiar to. We have heard the name is Manusmriti. In stage name of Manu, he wrote the code of conduct. Now what happens with these Smriti books is that these rules of life, what we should do when, how, at what stage of life, they are not fixed. They are subject to change. They change with time. So we cannot take some old Smriti and literally follow it in our lives. It will not be appropriate. So we have to be careful in learning the Smritis. That is another level of scriptures.
What about Patanjali's code of ethics? That won't come under.
No, that is in Yoga Sutras. He makes it a part of it. Now there is another level of scriptures, the Puranas. Puranas are mythological scriptures. The Puranas contain the same truth as the Gita contains and the Upanishads contain, but in the form of very interesting stories. If you straight present the scripture, the truth as in the Upanishads, it is good. There is no embellishment, there is no palliation, there is no story, nothing. But in the form of interesting stories, in the mythologies, the same moral principles, spiritual principles are presented in the Puranas. So they are very interesting to read. But one thing that may be confusing in the Puranas is when we read the Puranas, there are so many fantastic stories. Animals also speak and people are able to fly, they are able to travel back and forth in space and time. All those things we read in these stories. Then what happens is, people become so much engrossed in the story part and start discussing the pros and cons of some event or person there. And then the message that the story is supposed to convey, that is not noticed. It is sort of forgotten. That should not be allowed to happen. Mahabharata, Ramayana, they have formed a class called epics, Itihasa or epics. They also serve the same purpose.
Third level, same.
Here we can say compared to Puranas, but they are based upon some actual historical events. So they are all the same thing happens there. When people read Mahabharata, everybody comes up with the question, why did Dharmaraja say Swatama Kundara here? He was never speaking any untruth. He was known to be a very honest person. But in this case, he broke the rule, he cheated. Like this, so many questions come. Why did Krishna do like this? Why did Krishna say like that? The same thing, Ramayana, why did Rama kill Vali from behind the tree? He should have gone and fought him face to face. Like this, so many questions will come. And then the message that is supposed to be there is forgotten, overlooked. That is we have to be careful there. So like this, the same truth is presented at different levels in different ways to meet the needs of different classes of people. Same thing about rituals. Now the essence of all the Upanishads is that we are divine. We have to realize the divinity within us. For that the method is meditation, going into samadhi. To prepare for meditation, to inquire into the nature of the self, we have to have moral spiritual disciplines prepared. That is all Upanishad says. Now this path is very difficult. Many of us cannot do that. So for us there are other paths. There is the path of devotion. We look upon God as somebody, something separate from us with great devotion. Love is we worship God in different aspects of God. We worship path of devotion. And other people who want to do the service and convert it into spiritual practice, the path of karma yoga, selfless action, is described in the Gita. Gita has many of these things. Combined scripture. It has bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, everything. Meditation, everything. So like this, many different paths are given. In this part of the Bhagavad Gita, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, second chapter, Sri Krishna is describing what the Upanishads are saying. The same things come in the Upanishads, sometimes in the same words also. Najayate mrete va kadachit. That verse came in the Upanishad. Kathopanishad, almost same wordings, like that. So that is why this part of the Gita, second chapter of the Gita, this deals with the divine present within us. So that we have studied in Kathopanishad, in the Gita also. So we will move on from it. We will catch some important points, and then otherwise it will be very slow here. So most of you have studied it at least once before. So the next sloka we are going to study is 27:28. 27:28. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmada pariharyete. Natvam shojitumarhasi. Going back to that topic I was mentioning before about the versatility of our scripture, body of scriptures, so that every person is taken care of. People at different levels with different abilities, interests, and tendencies, everybody's need is catered to. Same thing about rituals. Upanishadic method is mostly upasana, meditation. No scriptures are described there. Thank you. In the Upanishads, the main method to reach the goal of divine realization within us is the method of meditation, upasana, on the self. That is difficult for many of us. Sri Krishna himself says, in the 12th chapter of the Gita, meditation on the unmanifest, that means formless reality, is more difficult than worship of the different aspects of God. That is it. So what to do? Many people cannot do that. So we need a simpler method. Then we have the cultivation of devotion through rituals. That is what we saw in the Kumbhabhishekam. Building up nice temples like this. People come here to do worship. Many different aspects of the divine are presented here. And worship is being done here every day. People can do their own worship. All those facilities are created here. So many people find this more convenient and appropriate to come here and practice their devotions. That is provided. So the rituals here are very important. That is what they were doing in the Kumbhabhishekam. This temple was built in 84-85. First Kumbhabhishekam happened. Now what happens in a place like this is, lot of people come. And then the holy atmosphere has to be maintained. When many different people come, then some people talk about worldly matters. They talk about stocks and shares and all those things, and insurance and health problems and family things. They talk this human nature. We cannot stop that. Let it happen. But what we do is, periodically, we recharge the spiritual atmosphere of this temple. That is this beauty of Hindu temples. Once a temple is built, they just don't leave it like that. Every day they do worship and puja at fixed times every day to maintain the atmosphere here. And then once in a while, a big celebration is made to spiritually recharge the holy atmosphere in this temple. That is Kumbhabhishekam. That is what we saw. That is very interesting. It is interesting to watch. They worship the kumbhas, the pots containing holy waters from many different rivers from India. Then flowers are sprinkled and mantras are chanted, special pujas are done. Priests come from different parts. That appeals to the majority of people. Many people participate. They come from long distances. This is a very big occasion for them. They take time off, they travel, they participate in it, they go back feeling very good, spiritually recharged. So like this, our dharma, Hindu dharma, is so versatile that it does not neglect the need of any person in the spectrum. Very few people who can meditate on the divine, they don't need any scriptures. They don't need any temples and rituals, mantra. They sit down someplace in a secluded place, meditate on the self-divine. But how many of us can do that one? Very difficult. So for many of us, this kind of atmosphere is needed. External symbols are necessary, forms are necessary, mantras are necessary, rituals are necessary. These are all helping us, all of us, in different ways. That is significant. That is the beauty of the Vedic Dharma, of the what we call now Hindu Dharma, or Sanatana Dharma, Vedic Dharma. That is the beauty. Everybody is provided for. No one is neglected. If you go to any small hamlet temple in India, there's a small temple, they keep a stone image, something. People to worship there, go every day, chant their own hymns in their local languages. See, they express their devotion that way. That provision is made for people at every level, of every temperament. That is the beauty of our heritage. We should be very proud and happy to belong to this very rich heritage. The body of scriptures we have, not this, you can read that. In all the languages, scriptures are there. In all the regions, saints have been. In every century, the reaching out to people, the same message in the local language, in the way people can understand and practice. This is how this dharma has been constantly rejuvenated. It's not allowed to become stale, and that is not the case. Always it is powerful, always it is recharged, and it provides for everyone. That is the beauty of our spiritual and cultural heritage. So we are happy to be a part of that one. So here, the emphasis is on the self, this part of Gita. Gita talks about everything also. Meditation also it talks. So we are coming back to this 27th verse. He says, speaking about the physical aspect of our personality, it is not permanent, it is not eternal. The divine aspect is eternal. So we are made up of these two things. We are divine, essentially inwardly, but outwardly we are physical beings, mind and body. The physical aspect of us is always changing. There's nothing fixed about the body and the mind. Every moment it is changing, and they come and go. But the divine always remains unchanged, eternal, unchanged, pure consciousness. That distinction is being shown in the 27th verse. Jatasya dhruvo mrityu. Jata means that which is born. That means something was not there before, certain point in time. At some point in time it came into existence. We call it phenomenon, that event birth. Birth means it was not there before, now it came into existence. So something like that. Anything that is born is necessarily going to end. Necessarily is going to end. Jatasya mrityu dhruva. Dhruva means certain, inescapable. Because anything that was not present at some point in time, that was absent, came into existence at some point in time, is also going to go away at some point later in time. But something to be eternal, it has to be always. There is no question of birth for eternal. For the ephemeral, there is birth and death. 6 changes we have studied before. So birth is one of those. If something is born, at least it was not there before. It is going to go back. Jatasya dhruvo mrityuhu. And when something goes out of existence in some form, it has to come back again. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmad apariharyerthe. In this matter, that is inevitable, inescapable matter, natvam shochitum arhasi, he says. The body is a changing part in us. The divine is the unchanging part in us. Later we study in the 13th chapter, Vinashyatsu Avinashyantam. This is Vinashyat. Vinashyat means something that is subject to destruction. Going to perish sooner or later. Perish means goes out of existence in this form. That is the container. The body mind is the container. What is the inner essential content? That is the divine soul, Atman within us. That is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to change. In this Vinashyat, in this ever-changing ephemeral container, that divine element is always present. Avinashyantam. Avinashi came earlier also. Avinashi is something that does not go out of existence. So that is our, the scriptures are saying we are essentially that, not essentially this. This is some part of us. This is, it is important. It serves a purpose. It is there now. So we treat it nicely, take care of it, make good use of it. Should not be shunned. But this comes and goes, it has a purpose to serve. The purpose of body mind is to help us to reach the divine within us. We should use this to reach that goal. And then once that goal is reached, then this work of this has been done. Some people compare this human body to a raft or a boat. A boat is not our permanent abode. We don't always stay in the boat. So we use it to cross a river or a stream. So we get into it, then we cross, and we reach the other side, we get off the boat and leave the boat behind. Like that. It's compared to a boat sometimes. That is what is being explained. Therefore, in this physical life, where changes are inevitable, old age is going to come, if we live long enough. And then old age comes, lot of problems. Then that old age also stops one day and then nothing. Body stops functioning. This is going to happen. Nobody can stop. So far, no one has been able to stop. Maybe later science will come up with something whereby we can take some pill and live forever. But so far it is going to go. That we have to accept. Natram Shojita Manahase means you should not be overcome with grief at this time. That is the teaching. Then in 28th verse, is that describes the coming and going of the body physical part. Avyaktadini bhutani Vyaktamadhyani bharata Avyaktamidhananyeva Tatra ka paridevana. Avyaktadini bhutani, all the beings were in an unmanifest state at some point in the past. Avyakta means unmanifest, means without name and form. Essence is there, but the form is not there. Avyaktadini bhutani Yakta Madhyani. In the middle part of our existence, Yakta means everything is there, name and form is there. Form is there. Avyakta Nidhanani. At the end, the names and forms will disappear. Everything goes back into unmanifest form. That is the cyclic nature of our existence. But for the divine within us, there is no coming and going or no change. It is always there, constant, present. Whether some movie is going on or not in the theater, screen is always there. When some movies are going on, screen is there. We don't see the screen, we see what is happening, the images on that. When all the movies stop, screen is still there. So these movies keep coming and going. They are not always running. Sometimes they show the movies. Sometimes there is no movie. So like that. So 29th is, you read that one simply, how wonderful
Self.
This self is Ascharyavat Paschati Aschidenam. Some shlokas, you are familiar with that, and you can just read that. The 30th one is same topic before. The self is indestructible. Deha, Dehi. The distinction is to be made. So let us read 30th one. Dehi Nityam Avadyoyam.
Dehi Nityamavadyoyam.
Dehe Sarvasya Bharata.
Dehe Sarvasya Bharata.
Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani.
Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani.
Natvam Shochitumarhasi.
Natvam Shochitumarhasi.
This Deha and Dehi, two separate words. Deha means the body. In Vedanta, when we say Deha, Deha means simply body. Now it may generally mean both the gross body and the subtle body, unless one of them is specifically mentioned, specified. Otherwise, we generally take both are meant. Dehi Nityam Avadyoyam Sarvasya Dehe. In everybody's body, Sarvasya Dehe, in everybody's body, Dehi, the indwelling spirit. Now the question which will come later in 13th chapter is, Dehas are many, bodies are many, it's quite different from each other. But Dehi, in all of them is how many? Only. Where did you study that one? Sarva Kshetreshu, in all the bodies, same idea, we don't have to memorize the words. But if you understand the concept, that is important. Sarva Kshetreshu, in all the bodies, Mam Kshetrajnam Vidhi. Know me to be the indwelling spirit. Me means the Lord. The same Lord is present in all. That's what he is saying there. Since he is the same in everyone, essentially from the spiritual point of view, everyone is the same. But everyone is quite different when we come to the physical, mental level. At the physical level, we cannot be safe. It's impossible. Then there will be no creation. If anybody clone of everybody else, there will be simply a set of clones. That won't happen. That won't work. Creation means there has to be difference. From being to being, there is difference at the physical level. That we have to accept and accommodate for that one, adjust for that one. You cannot expect everybody to be like me or me to be like everybody. That's going to be the difference. But the essential part in each one of us, this is the spiritual part. Not even the mind. Mind is different also. Mind is like the body. So that is subtle body. That is also different from person to person. But divine means the deepest part, the core of our personality is the same in all. The Lord, same Lord is sitting there present in everyone. Many places in the scriptures read this idea. Many places Sri Krishna says in Gita and other scriptures they contain the same truth. Ishvaraha Sarva Bhutanam Viddeshe Arjuna. Arjuna is Sambodhana Vibhakti. Arjuna Tishtati means Arjuna is sitting, we should not understand like that. O Arjuna, Ishvaraha Tishtati. Ishvara, the Lord is sitting. Sarva Bhutanam Viddeshe. In the heart of everyone, the same Lord is there. That is the common part. The other parts are not common, they are different. That we have to understand. That is what is being said here. Dehi Nityam Sarvasya Dehi. In everybody's body, Dehi. Dehi is singular here, the indwelling spirit. Avadhya means imperishable. Deha is perishable. Body comes and goes. The spirit within us, Atma within us, is always eternally present, unchanging, eternally present. That is the idea we have to know. Yeah, Sri Krishna is trying to persuade Arjuna here to remind himself of his duty. Now you have to fight. You are on the battlefield. If you don't fight, it will not be good for you. You are not doing your duty. You will be failing in your duty. You are a Kshatriya. It's not everybody's duty to fight. We should not go away with the, Krishna is asking us all to fight like that. We should not think. That is not, he says, do your duty, present duty. Whatever is my present duty at this time is not to fight. Because I am not in the battlefield, I am not joined the defense forces. I am here as a civilian person leading a peaceful life, trying to lead a peaceful life. I should not take this, Krishna is asking us to fight, we should stand up and fight with everybody. That will be not right understanding. So Arjuna at that time, this was the instruction. But later Sri Krishna gave different instructions. See, there was another disciple of Sri Krishna that does not come in this, it comes in Bhagavad. His name was Uddhava. He was also a very wise person. He went to Sri Krishna for seeking teachings. Uddhava went, just like Arjuna asked Sri Krishna, Shishyastevam Sadimam Tvam Prapannam, I've taken refuge in you, teach me. Arjuna says, in the same way Uddhava asked for instructions. Now the same Krishna who told Arjuna to get up and fight, there he gives the opposite instructions. There he says to Arjuna, to Uddhava, see, you have seen this world enough. You have done things, you have been there, you have done that. Now, your next duty is to dedicate your whole life, full time, to realizing the divine. So give us instructions how to practice the Vairagya disciplines, renunciation, everything. Then sends him away to go to a place and sit down, meditate on the self. So the teaching varies from person to person, depending upon who is being taught. And if the same person receives teachings at different times, it may be different teachings. What is my duty today, what I am supposed to do now, is quite different from what I was doing some years ago. At that time, this was not my duty. Something else I was required to do every day that I should have done then. Now I should do this. So the duty varies. There is nothing fixed, constant about duty. In the Karma Yoga book, Swami Brahmarupananda has given 8 lectures, 8 chapters of it. One chapter in that book is called What is Duty? There Swami Brahmarupananda says, it is not possible to give a definite fixed objective definition of duty because it is always changing. If you take any one person, that person's duty changes with time. Any of us can realize that. What is your duty here in the temple is different. When we go home, it is different. Working weekday mornings, it is different. On weekend mornings, it is different. So changes with time for the same person. And at any given time, duties are different for different people. At this time, each one of us has one duty, and after some time it will be different. And the priests have different duty. They are doing their duty. We are doing our duty. Other people are doing their duty. So how can we say duty is only this? Not possible. So it is each person's responsibility to determine what is his or her own duty at any given time and do that as worship. That is the instruction in the Gita. So that Sri Krishna reminds Arjuna, you are supposed to be here. Your duty is to fight right now, at this moment. So you should do that one. Don't try to escape that, giving all kinds of arguments. In time, everything will come. People will talk ill of you as one who shirks his responsibilities at the critical moment. Run away like this. So all these teachings he gives to that world, we can keep. Then we go to 38. Go to 38. See, 37th verse, it can be very much misunderstood. Some people misunderstand that. 37th verse, Krishna says, Ato va prakshasi swargam, jitva va bhokshase mahim. So what happens is, for a person like Arjuna at that moment, his duty was to fight because he is in the middle of the war. Later it may be different. At that time he was supposed to fight. They all assembled there. They tried all methods of negotiation, nothing failed. This was the last resort. So then you have to do that. Now he says, Hatova Prapti, supposing Arjuna gets killed in the war. Kauravas killed him. Then what happens to Arjuna? He goes to heaven. Vargam Prapsi. That is, Kshatriyas are told like that. The meaning is, whatever is our duty, we should continue that to the end. It is better to die doing our duty rather than shirking and escaping our duty. So if you die on the battlefield, if you are killed in this war, you will go to heaven. Swargam prapsasi. Jitva, supposing you win in this war, you kill the enemies. Prapsase mahim, you get the kingdom for which they were fighting. So, some people misunderstand this. They say if we kill other people, and in the process if we go to heaven, there will be all these nice ladies waiting for us to serve us. So, we'll kill and we don't mind being killed. Like this, that is not the proper understanding. Suicide bombers do that one. They don't mind being killed. So we should know, it's easy to misunderstand any scripture. We can take any passage from any scripture and just give a spin to it. It's possible to do that, but we should be careful not to do that one. We should take the intended meaning, the spirit in which it is told, and not try to give a different meaning to that one. So we'll leave that one there, 38. It's not our present important concern. 38 we see. This is very important instruction in 38. Just one more footnote to the previous comment about going to heaven. There is another implied idea that women are there to make us happy. Men. So women are looked upon as objects of enjoyment. That is a very unhealthy way to look upon a woman. Our scripture does not allow that one. It is not, woman should not be looked upon as an object of enjoyment. The same divine is present in man, woman, everything. What the man-woman distinction is at the body-mind level. At the spiritual level, there is only one indwelling spirit in all that we know from our scriptures. So then where is the distinction? So we should not take that attitude. There should be respected and treated with gentleness and respect. All beings, especially women. Ill-treating women is not permitted at all. But unfortunately what happens, there is always a gap. It seems this gap exists in every society between the ideals presented in the scriptures and what people actually do. Either misunderstanding or unwilling to do something. But there is always seems to be this gap between the ideal presented in the scriptures and the actually what happens. That happened in Hinduism also. That is not good. But what the scriptures say is, women should be respected and treated with love and respect. Manusmriti also says that. Although Manusmriti has different things in different places, in one place Manu says, where women are honored, respected and worshipped, there will be peace and joy and prosperity. He says, Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha, where women are worshipped and treated nicely with respect, there the gods dance with joy. Gods dance with joy with all good things have prevailed. Happiness, joy, peace, harmony, everything. Yatraitastu napujyanti. Those, that place, the society, that organization or family, you remain or not worshipped, you are not treated nicely. Nishphala saphala kriya. Nothing will succeed. Nothing will flourish. Nothing will.
That's why things are like that now.
So we should keep that in mind. In the Gita, if you have questions about it, you go to 10th chapter. Which look 34th verse. You go to second line. 10th chapter. I think I'm giving the right number. Kirti Sri Vaksanarinam. What does it say? Please read in English. In women, these are the excellent qualities. Women have these qualities. They have, among other things, they have more endurance power, forbearance to absorb a lot of suffering without complaining. You can see it in women. How much they take and still keep on doing their duty, serving everybody, unselfishly, without complaining. That endurance, you see, Kshama, forgiving nature, giving nature, sacrificing nature, intelligence, Medha. So there are some jokes about dumb. We should not say those things. That's not right. Whatever scripture says. Medha, that means there is superior intelligence is superior. Smriti, their memory is very sharp. They don't really forget. Yes, these are qualities in women. So that is what our scripture says. So let us go back to 38. We just remind ourselves sometimes of these things because it's easy to overlook. All of us may do the same mistake, but it's good to remind ourselves. Women should be respected. Everybody should be respected, especially women. Not be repeated. Sukha dukhe samay kritva. We're going back to 38. Labha labho jaya jayo samay kritva yuddhaya yujyasva. Naivam papam apsasi. So Arjuna is about to undertake an unpleasant task, namely he has to use weapons to kill people in the battlefield. Ordinarily, this kind of work is not is prohibited. We should not harm anybody. That's what our scriptures keep telling, ahimsa, ahimsa, non-injury, like that one. But now he's being told to fight. Now the question may arise in Arjuna's mind, if I use weapons to kill all these people in the opposing army, will I not incur sin? That question comes. So that is being addressed here. He says, when we do any duty, pleasant, unpleasant, as long as it is our duty, as long as we are required to do that one, only that. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, agreeable, disagreeable, whatever it takes, we have to do that. Sometimes we have to use force. Supposing there is a surgeon and the patient comes requiring a painful procedure. Surgeon, no, I am not going to cause pain to this person. If you refrain from doing the procedure, what happens? It's necessary at that time to in the long-term interest of the patient. Same thing with a law enforcement officer, a police officer. A police officer is on patrol duty and he sees somebody trying to break into somebody's house or mug someone on the street, or he stops. Stop that person, arrest him. That person who fights with the police officer draws out his gun. Then what do? You have to use force. There are instances where it becomes necessary, but not always. This is one such instance when that is appropriate. Not always, not for everybody. So he says, whenever we have to do anything, not only this particular kind of unpleasant duty, any kind of work when we do, these are general instruction. In the first line contains general instruction, karma yoga instruction, applies to all kinds of work except prohibited work. There says, Same Kritva, looking upon equally sukha dukhe, pain and pleasure. Labha labhav same kritva. gain and loss. Jaya Jayu Samekatva, success and failure. I will do my best. What happens, succeeds or fails? No, we know from second chapter, we may not come there yet. We are going to study soon. That the result is not up to us. You examine any activity you do in your daily life or whenever. You do something, some effort you put in, and you have some expectation, this should happen, this much result will come. You have a target, you have to have a target. When you do your work, you plan and you have a target. That is okay. Otherwise, you cannot work efficiently. Keep a target. When you are traveling, you say, this much distance is to be covered, and it will take this much time. Therefore, I allow this much time plus some. So like this, you make a plan, and by this time I will be reaching there, like that. That's your target. That is good to do that one. Now what happens? You start on your journey. Whether you actually reach that destination at that time that you had in mind or not, sooner, you may reach there sooner, or you may reach there later, or some obstruction may come on the way, as happened to Puja Friday night, Thursday night. We started for Ganges. Thursday evening we had a class in here, Olympia field. We wanted to go to Ganges. We started late, 10:30. We started at night. And then our plan was to reach there by 12:30, 1 o'clock and sleep. What happened? Our target was to reach there by 1 o'clock around that time. That was okay. But on the way, we encountered obstruction. On Interstate 80, it was a parking lot. Everything stopped. We didn't move for almost 1 hour. We were standing there. Nothing moved. Then what to do? It was getting late. Already 12 o'clock almost here approaching. So we said, no, let us go back. Luckily there was a Torrance Avenue exit. We saw, we called somebody. They gave directions. We took the exit. We went back to somebody. So calling, we are coming now to sleep in your home. So they got up and got ready to receive us. So we slept, and next morning we started. So like that, what happens when we do some work? What will happen to the expected goal? We don't know. We may reach it, we may reach it late, we may reach it earlier also. So all these things. So the result is not up to us. We'll study that in detail in the 47th, 48th verse. 47th verse will teach us that. So the result is not under our control. But you know from experience and observation. So we have to say, Jaya Jayo Samekritva. You do our best under the circumstances. What happens by way of outcome of our work? We have no full control over that, and whatever happens, we accept it gracefully. Success, failure, gain, or loss, whatever happens, we aim for the best, we do our best, and what actually turns out not completely in our hands. So we have to accept it gracefully. So case and is quite important to us. Essence of Karma Yoga here. How to do our work with detachment. Detachment means this one. Detachment means not lack of interest or anything. It means we do our best and we remain unfettered, equanimous when the outcome comes, which is not to our liking. So we accept it. That way we remain detached when the outcome comes. Your duty is defined by dharma, right? How do you determine your duty? What dharma says. According to that, you determine your duty, you do that one. So, ideally there should be no conflict, but I understand sometimes there is conflict. Dharma sanktantarala. It will come. Then you do use your best. Then we have got 3 options. In the situation, when you are in a dilemma, moral dilemma, whether to do something or not, when you encounter such a dilemma, then you have 3 options. First thing is, we look to the scriptures, what the scriptures say on this matter. Many a time we don't find anything that is particularly applicable to us in the scriptures. They have general instruction. Our situation is not covered. That happens. If that happens, then you go to the wise person. Yad yada acharati shresthaha. So you go to a person who is endowed with wisdom and seek guidance. This has happened, what should we do? That person will give you some advice. That we can do. If that is not possible and if that does not work, then what you are left with? Your own best judgment. You do it and take the consequence. This is what I think I will do. So, whatever happens, I'll take it. What else can we do? So those things happen sometimes, but then these are the avenues available to us to seek advice. And if everything fails, then we are left to our own decision. Pray to God, I am doing this and this is what I think. And whatever you do, you will use your best judgment, right? Most professions have more courts, engineers have, doctors have, other lawyers have. So they have their professional codes. 38 was a good place to stop. So we'll go a little bit faster next time. This time we went a little bit faster than last time. So we'll try to. So let us say the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Vajrani Pashyantu Ma Kachit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may all be happy. May all be free from suffering. May all realize what is auspicious. May no one be subject to misery. Om, peace. Peace and joy be within us all. Peace and harmony be amongst all beings. And peace be everywhere in nature. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Sri Ram Krishna.